All right, man. Look, we got a special guest, man. We got my boy Jerrod Johnson on. Man, the newest quarterbacks coach for the Houston Texans, man. Congrats on that, by the way. So, man,
Appreciate
I'm
it,
happy
man.
for you with that, man. So let's shoot, man. Go on and introduce yourself. Tell us, who you are, where you're from, what we need to know, all the good stuff, man.
Yeah, Jerrod Johnson, man. I'm from Humble, Texas. Played at Humble High School. Proudest member of the Fighting Texas Aggie class of 2010. So I played. That's where me and Jordan, cross paths and we're teammates. Played quarterback at Texas A&M from 2006 to 2010. After that, played for 7 NFL teams, 1 Canadian team. Almost played an arena team. Played in the UFL. Just chasing playing ball. In between that, I started doing private quarterback training. I started my own business in Houston, training private quarterbacks, which led to me getting on staff with Nike Elite 11 for 8 years with Trent Dilfer, which then led to me kind of coaching at the opening and calling plays there, which led to me training some of the top kids in the country at the quarterback position as a trainer, which then parlayed its way into doing pro day training and prepping guys for the combine. And then while doing actually a pro day, I was approached with an opportunity to do an internship with the Indianapolis Colts. And I did the internship with the Colts for a year, got hired full-time there for the next 2 years. I was assistant receiver coach with the Colts. And then last year I took a job as the assistant quarterback coach with the Minnesota Vikings. And then now I am currently, as of last month, the quarterback coach for the Texans. So that's kind of my story. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Brady. She's about to have our first little baby girl. And I'm the son of a coach, man. I coached at Houston St. Thomas for 4 years. We took some L's to some of the Dallas schools.
Yeah, baby.
As well. So I have a lot of respect for the Dallas area talent, so I think I'm very thankful for my perspective and my journey, because I think I love the game of football, and most positive things in my life came from the game in some way. And I think either coaching, playing, being exposed to the level at the youth level, the private training, select level, to the high school level, to the college level, to the professional level, I think has given me a pretty unique perspective, and I appreciate them all. So that's
man,
kind of my.
I love it. I love it. You said a key word that I want to touch on, man. You said journey. You know what I mean? So I know, like, a lot of the stuff, man, I get with the kids I have in the program. You got kids that want to do a array of different things, but of course, the most common thing you always hear is they want to go pro, right? So you talk about the journey, man. You talk about all the teams that you play for. Some deserving of you being the guy at the quarterback spot. We know how that goes. But now you've transitioned into the coaching ranks, man. So you've seen it from all perspectives. So, man, talk about some of the toughest parts of the journey, the transition into the coaching, man. What got you into it? You know what I mean? What was the thing that made it click for you? So how was that transition, man? How did you take your desire for playing football and then you transition that into the coaching aspect? What was that for you?
Well, so, I always knew I wanted to coach. I was always appreciative. One, my father was my role model, and he was a high school football coach. Yep. And just the coaches in my life impacted me positively so much. And I played football, basketball, and baseball. And so all the coaches in my life, as a kid, you just looked up to your coaches, and so that's ultimately, I just figured that that's what I wanted to do, and so just from a journey standpoint, there were so many ups and downs and everything that I've done. I just feel like that is kind of my calling, to share those experiences so other players so kids and other people can take what I've done positively and do it, or some of the mistakes I made and do it. And there's just no better feeling, than taking information that you have, pouring that into, especially, youth kids, and even professional kids, and then taking that information and then adding it to their game or their situation and coming out positively. There's no better feeling than that, and I think that, it's the saying that, your purpose on this earth is to figure out, your gift. And then, there's no better thing than taking that gift and sharing it with somebody else, and I think that I've been gifted, as a player, and fortunate enough to have a skill set to coach. And man, I love sharing the game and helping people, man. And there's just no better feeling than just helping other people. So.
Hey, man, that's why we all get into it, right? Same thing for me with that journey, man. Building it up, taking the knowledge, hey, you can't do it anymore physically, so why not stay a part of the game, stay competitive, you know what I'm saying? But give them the tools, man, to make them better than you ever were, right?
No
You know what I
question.
mean? So look, so check it out. So you've coached at every level: high school, youth, high school, college, pro level, right? What made you choose the NFL route, though, or did the NFL route choose you? How did that go? How did that come about?
It's actually kind of crazy. The NFL route chose me, because
Mhm.
and Jordan, you know this, after you get done playing professionally, it never ends on our time, right? Like, we always feel that
Never,
I can still
never,
play, my
never.
phone should still be ringing, I'm
Yep.
at the house salt. It is what it is. I don't care whether you play 10 years and all of a sudden you're hoping to get 11 and it doesn't come, or where, like myself, I was
Right.
practice squads and fighting and scratching and moving and just, fighting a good fight. It was just one of those deals, man, to where I just felt like it was time, and it was time to chase it. I mean, it was time to get to the next deal. So yeah.
Right. Man, I understand that, man. I get it. So I know that so you're saying the NFL chose you, and I know that you have that experience with the high school level, college level, and all that. Now, we take it back to the Elite 11. You work with the quarterbacks, right? You specialize in that. Now, when you talk about the high school kid all the way up to the pro guy, what are the similarities? What are the traits that you've seen, man, working from high school all the way up to this point that that guy could be a pro, or he has the traits of what you look for at the professional level now that you're doing it, man, full time. So if you're talking to all of my quarterbacks, man, that come through PPT, or all the quarterbacks that'll listen to this, what are those traits, man, that you're looking for, and what are those traits that you see in every single person that turns pro? What are those things?
So I'm put this in two parts, man, because I love this question. I love talking to young quarterbacks. So first off, the first thing is confidence. Okay, you have to have an innate confidence in your ability to play the position and play the game. Okay, because it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. You're going to throw interceptions. You're going to make mistakes. You have to have an inherent confidence in your ability that you are going to have success. Now, I have a saying that preparation is the fuel that drives confidence. Okay, something I live by. So how do you develop that confidence? How you prepare. So when you get in that moment, you are confident because you know that you've put in the work to be confident. So that confidence can be built, But then from a physical standpoint, to me, the quarterback position, as the levels go up, talent matters. Okay, it's efficiency and consistency. Those two things. Efficiency in a sense that I can't get bored with simple. It's so many things there's so many things that go, whether it's playing a high school in the NFL, there's so many things playing the quarterback position that's just noise. You got to play. You have to tell the rest of the team what's going on. You have the snap count. You have the defense. As you get older, there's just more things that cloud your brain. And so what separates guys the next level is, can you make the game simple in your head? Because if you see it all, you see nothing. And so
Thank you. Yes.
Can I prepare to where
you're preaching, man. You're preaching, JJ.
The whole point of preparation and why we meet is to, when I get out there and I'm playing against another NFL defense, when I'm playing against this defense, I have a checklist that's very small of cues I'm looking for that I've developed throughout the week or your preparation. So when I get out there, I'm only choosing between one and two guys. Right. You know what I'm saying? To where now I'm making the game simple so you can play fast. And that if that's efficient thinking, but also as a player, if they're going to give me the 6-yard hitch route over and over and over, I'm going to take that 6-yard hitch route over and over and over. Because the player who goes 7 for 8 in the game, as opposed to the player who makes one dynamic splash play, but either passes up and doesn't want to take what they give him, or goes 2 for 9 and one touchdown that was a highlight reel. As a coach, I'm going to take the guy who's 7 for 8 all the time because I know what I'm getting. And that's the consistency piece. So efficiency in a sense of, I'm going to take what the defense gives me physically on the field, but also my ability to take what's hard and then focus on what I need to focus on to play fast. And then the consistency as a coach, I know what I'm getting every time you go out there. There's been plenty of talented players, including myself. Like, this is something I shared. Like, my mindset, I didn't learn this from the NFL. You know what I'm saying? I try to be consistent. I was all about the splash play. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool, a hitch rate. I'll take it if it's there, but I want to throw it deep. Every quarterback wants to throw it deep. But you can't do that if the defense isn't dictating that, right? And as a coach, I want to put somebody on the field that I can within reason, I kind of know what's going to happen.
Right.
You know, so because this person is consistent, and then if you play good, do you play good every single day, or is it one good game, one bad game? So efficiency and consistency is what separate guys at the next level. And sometimes the more talented guys don't make it or may not play because they're lacking one of those two things. You know, either they're not very efficient to where, like I said, they are, with an accuracy and all the other things go into play, but they think about everything and they're all over the place. And, you know, one time they're throwing, and then the consistency of, man, this kid just threw four touchdowns this game. The next game he threw 4 picks.
Right.
You know, the up and down is what's hard. You want the guy who's either steadily playing at that high level, and the guys who do that are the ones who are special.
Man, I love it. I love it that you said a couple things. You said consistency, but the word that stood out was simplicity, though.
Yes.
Don't make it harder than what it is. You
Yes.
know what I mean? And I tell my kids all the time, man, at the end of the day, it's a game. Dude,
Yes.
if they're going to give you 5 yards, take the 5 yards. Thank you. I'm glad that you said that, man, because at the pro level, kids, I don't know if you're listening to it. All my high school guys, I don't know if you're listening to it, but he said take what they give you. I love that. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of it, man. So we're talking about scouting. Okay, we got our high school kids, man, that you know their desires to play D1 ball. You know how that goes, man. D1, and then eventually they play pro. From the NFL perspective, now that you're in those meeting rooms, man, now that you're at the combines, now that you're about to be part of the draft process, when does scouting start? Does it start when they're in high school? Do you go all the way back and you see what their history is? Starting back in high school, does it start when they're in college? What are you guys looking for from that scouting process, man? And where does it begin, man? Where's the genesis of it?
You go as deep as you need to and as you can go. You want as much information as you can to make a diligent decision, especially when you come to paying somebody professionally a lot of money to perform for your football team, you know? And so really, you go as far back, you want as many resources as you can. If you have information with somebody who's a middle school coach, whether it's elementary school teacher, whether it's your high school coach, if you can get that information, why wouldn't you want it? And you know you can take or leave that information, but it does. And if it's positive, it can add value, you know, because we are asking about, you know, how did they get to this point? Because a lot of who you are is built off your foundation. Those foundations are built for all of us in middle school and high school. So the foundation lets you know, or I want to know the foundation to know how I can coach this grown adult. You know what I'm saying? So, and sometimes the purest version of ourselves, and that's why I love the Elite 11 stuff I did. Sometimes the purest version of yourself is before you got to the fame and stuff like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know? And so, but yeah, we start as early as we need to. And you know, as early as we need to go to get information about a kid, our scouting department will go.
Wow. So okay, that poses another question. So how does family history play into that? All right, so we got parents, right? You got your parents that are dead set on their kids being pros, right? They'll do anything, right? Some will go over the top. You know how that goes. Some won't be as involved. How important is that, man, when you're looking at it from the pro perspective, man? You've been through all levels. So let's say 3 levels, high school, college, pro. You've seen that. How important does that factor into the scouting process from the professional level now?
You just want to know, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody comes from a different family dynamic. You never want to hold it against somebody, but it's just information. Like, once again, it's all about compiling information to get the best view of what you're getting yourself into. You know what I'm saying? And so family, we don't dive that deep into the family dynamic NFL wise. I think probably college more so because it's probably closer related to that person. You know what I'm saying? It's in a sense of like, they're closer to living with their parents in college. You know what I'm saying? They are living with their parents, ideally, when they're recruiting, as opposed to us. But we do look, I mean, if there are reputations about people, it gets out. You know what I'm saying? It's aware. So we try not to hold it against people, regardless of positive but it is looked at, and it's just another part of that equation.
Love it, man. I love it. So basically, you know, I know interviewing, man, a lot of the college guys that I've had, man, they look at, you know, everything from the social side, like social media, what they're following, what they're tweeting, they're talking to the genders, kind of like what you guys are doing. So basically, man, you know, from what I gather from it, you would tell those guys, man, look, just pay attention to who you are and what you do, right?
Okay, so all that stuff. I want to touch on that for sure, because
let's do it. Yep.
So it's just a couple things just to be aware of. You have to be, especially at the quarterback position, there have to be an awareness of what their job is as a coach. Like, there's hierarchies in the recruiting process, right? As a position coach, there's the people come out there and build a database, right? I need to cast a net. I need to get a list of 100 quarterbacks and figure out which one's the best one for us. So I got to get a database, and then I got to watch all these kids, and then I got to pick the ones I think have the requirements of what I'm looking for. And then I have to pitch it up the ladder to my boss, which is the head coach, recruiting coordinator, whatever. So all those boxes check. So I may love a kid, but if he does, and so anything, if I have to sell you up the ladder, there are things that can hurt my case. So just put yourself in their shoes. If I love this kid X from somewhere in Texas, and he's a great quarterback, love his film, but I know that this is on the social media, you know what I'm saying? And I know my coach has a standard on whatever that may be. I may not sell that kid to that school. You never know where that is. So you want to have those kind of things. You want to be yourself. You want to, be true to who you are as a human being, even if you're a young adult. But at the same time, the least amount of things that hurt that sales package,
right?
You know what I'm saying, the better. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you may have a college coach or a recruiter or analyst would love a player, but but this makes it a really tough sell given what I know my coach wants. You know what I'm saying? It's be an easy sell on the field and off the field. Because on the field component matters as well.
Right, exactly, man. So let me ask you this, man. Now that you're in the professional side, and we understand there's a business component to this. Hey, man, guys are collecting paychecks. You know what I mean? We expect you to do a job, right? You have that business component. What type of people, man, are you trying to get into the building, right? What type of guys are you looking for when it comes to that scouting, that draft process, man? The free agents that you bring in. What are we trying to build? What type of culture are we trying to establish? Because we know in the college level, the college coaches have the majority of the control. They control the reins, all that. NFL, you got GMs, owners, player personnel guys. So what is that dynamic like, man? How different is that from that college level? And how is the culture established, man, when it comes to bringing in players on that side?
I mean, first and foremost, in any business, if football is the people business, because you're dealing with people, you want quality people, right? Are you when you walk into the room, are you bringing energy or are you taking energy away? You bring in sunlight or you bring in darkness. So you just want quality people that are enjoy what they're doing. They help others around them, and they're just going to bring value to your organ just as a person. You know what I'm saying? You want good people, that are positive, and then on top of that, you want people that work hard, and the biggest word for me is integrity. Are you going to do what you say you're going to do? If I ask you to do something, if I ask you to study, if I ask you to watch a cut-up tape, are you going to do it? Integrity for your teammates. Are you going to lift in the offseason? For us, as an NFL player, half the time you are not in the program, the offseason program, by yourself.
Yes.
Are you really working out every day? Because it's not even about you individually, it's the team is counting on you. And so integrity is a huge thing. Does this person do what they say they're going to do? Do they work hard? Are they honest? And are they adding energy to the building? Or are they taking energy out with negativity?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that is what we're looking for, because you can be a great player, but nobody wants to be around somebody who is not creating adding positivity to the situation.
Exactly. I love it, man. I love it. So look, man, I told you, man, I'm not gonna keep you too long. I know you're busy, man. You gotta get ready for the draft. I know they talking about your boy CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, man. So I know you got to go evaluate that. Here's the last question I'm gonna ask you. All right. So we're talking to the high school guys, talking to the high school athletes. Okay. What would you say, and what advice would you give them for the guys who are dead set on being pros? Right. They're saying we're gonna make it no matter what happens. This is plan A, B, C, and D. This is no other option. What advice would you give those guys? What would you tell them, man, as they start embarking on this journey? What's the last thing that you'll give them, man?
To be honest with you, man, this is probably not a popular answer, man, but I would tell those guys, just make sure football is what you do and it's not who you are. Like you have a foundation in faith, have a foundation in your family, and because there's bigger things in this game, and I say that to protect your mental health, okay? And all I'm getting, I don't want to get this too preachy or too deep, but be who you are, love the game, pour everything you can into the game, but football is what you do, not who you are. Because if you live your life off of that, there's so many ups and downs on this game. At the end of the day, you want to be a whole person. You want to be a husband. You want to be a father. You want to be a brother. You want to be a son. That matters more than how many touchdowns you throw. But being all those things, and winning at being a good person and being a good husband and father and brother and son will make you a better football player. You know what I'm saying? But football is what you do, not who you are. And that perspective, I think, takes a weight off your shoulder to where you can peak perform, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I will tell you, if that is your dream, if that is your goal, by all means, go all in on what you do. But there's a difference in who you are, you know, because there's going to be ups and downs, and that perseverance of knowing who you are as a person will set the foundation for you to succeed in what you do.
Man, well, there it is, man. I love it. That was the final word. So look, JJ, man, I appreciate you, man. I thank you for taking this time out. I know about 20 minutes in, man. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys hear what he's saying, man. A guy who's seen it from all sides, right? Who's been on all aspects, from high school to the college level to the pro level, man. I appreciate you. Congrats on the new position with the Texans, and also congrats on the new baby girl on the way, man. You know, fatherhood is something special. So look, man, we'll catch up soon. Appreciate you coming on.
No doubt, man. My wife is from Dallas, so I head up there a decent amount. I'm gonna hit you up next time I'm in town. We'll link up.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
All right, later.